everybody? This is Salvi here with the VTuber news coming right up for you. Before that, of course, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell, and the like button as well, and let's get right into it. As you guys may or may not know, we had an issue over the weekend with TwitchCon. TwitchCon has come and gone. Twitch, of course, is the streaming service that runs TwitchCon, and Dan Clancy is the CEO of said streaming service. He's the one who runs the ship. He's the one who's supposed to be in charge of all this kind of stuff, including safety and such, making sure that the safety teams are well manned, well staffed, etc. So he's the one, the buck stops with him. Zach Bussey, of course, said when it happened that someone did assault Emiru at the meet and greet at TwitchCon, and here we are. And remember, Emiru's actual, like, her favorite staff, her favorite security staff, her favorite security guard, the one who's been with her the longest, got permabanned from Twitch because there was a year when this happened before, and the person who was the perpetrator was grabbed by the security guard and held until like police could get there and get them out. Because he held the guy's arm inside of TwitchCon, he got banned permanently from TwitchCon. So that was dumb. So people like this can continue to be here and not get banned. The person who did this, let's watch it. This right here, look. He tried to kiss her. Of course, he got pushed.
Whoa.
And he still tried to get back. And of course, the manager took her back. And what did Twitch do? Not much. Twitch didn't really go and be like, hey, are you okay, or anything like that. From what we heard from Emiru, they kind of even, like, some of the staff, like the security staff around there, were kind of even laughing about the situation because, you know, the guy got pushed and all that kind of stuff. They did fly in their main security guy from, of course, here we go, you know, here's their security person trying to go in there and try to figure shit out. But they did try to send their main security guy from Amazon to try to, you know, fix the situation because this was a really bad situation overall. But we also had Dan Clancy come out later on, which was, you know, they did have their response to it, saying, I'm gonna go over it real quick because I already went over it before, saying that they take this very seriously. They are going to be cooperating with law enforcement and such. In fact, let me just show it to you. And here it is, just so you guys can see it again. Safety, security, those attending are very important. Behavior displayed, it involved a high-profile streamer. They can't even mention her name for whatever reason. In line with the existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement were called and they were on site. They've been blocked the individual from returning to TwitchCon ever. They're banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We've increased security, meet and greet locations, check-in points, etc. because they had really, really bad security, to be honest with you. Really bad security. Originally allowed the assailant to walk away and only apprehended him and escorted him out when they were pressed to do so by Emiru's manager. Additionally, security hired by Twitch laughed at the situation straight after it happened and did nothing to assist. How do we know this? Emiru released her situation. She says she's obviously shaken up by what happened. Not the first time I've dealt with something like this. A lot more hurt and upset by the way that they reacted. Don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me, number one. Again, 3 or 4 other TwitchCon security staff in the area who did not react to a person just showing up there. The woman who walked me away is my own personal manager, of course, and walked behind the booth to make sure she was fine. Who was present told me Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened and immediately laughing and moving on to talking about something else. No one was checking if it was okay. Like, no one checked if Emiru was okay. No one checked if she was fine. Twitch statements say the guy was immediately caught and detained, but that's a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet and didn't hear he was caught until hours after it happened. And the manager pressed for it and things like that. Of course, thanks to the community and everything, Twitch is actually responding. And let us go to Twitch's actual response next. This is Dan Clancy talking to Taylor Lorenz, I believe. You can have your thoughts or whatever about Taylor Lorenz, but at least she was able to talk, and she asked some serious questions. Let's take a look at what she asked here.
and others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there, okay?
So he's blaming her pretty much here for not properly managing her community. Says you should ban the people you don't want in your community. Guess what though? This isn't a place where she can fully control. This is a place where you can control as Twitch for being the security there. You cannot blame the victim in this case for what happened. You cannot go, well, you should manage your community better to make sure those type of people aren't there. They're going to be crazies everywhere. They're going to be crazies for everybody, especially for female streamers. You cannot control what happens at a con. Of course, even as a big con, it's for security, etc. But this is not the response you should make, Clancy, Dan Clancy.
It's very different, you know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and
he's only saying this honestly because he got caught and he's getting raked over the coals. Holy moly.
So I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about how.
No one is calling you leaders in the industry for trust and safety. Everyone has had issues with your trust and safety. I don't know where you're pulling this out of, Dan Clancy, but this is not it. You are not the leaders of safety.
Helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
Demi had posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even like journalists have had struggled. Like, you know, it is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, you know, issues like this have happened?
Well,
they shouldn't. Pretty much don't trust TwitchCon anymore. She makes a very good point there. How the heck can people trust you anymore if you allow this type of thing to go through? It really is really dumb for this to be allowed to go through. I cannot believe that this happened again because last year there was the spiking of drinks incident. This time this happened here. It's happened at other cons separate from Twitch, but this should have never been allowed to happen.
I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, you know, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, trying to find them. Right now, we're definitely, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources.
So again, he's putting it on the creators instead of being like, look, we messed up badly. We should have been able to secure this a lot better. We should have been able to make sure that this was a safe event, and apologizing to Emiru directly because they failed her instead of doing something like that. Of course, he's going for the PR stuff, making sure the investors are happy, and it's like, yeah, we did our best, we did everything, but the creators should have been more responsible. The creators should have been better at controlling their community. The creators should have been better at banning people from their community. This is a live event that you are running, Twitch. This is not on the creators. I hate how they keep pushing this on the creators. And Dan Clancy, man, you're not good at PR. I mean, you're good at PR speak, but this PR just did not hit. I do hope that things do get fixed in the future. I know Emiru is strong. Emiru has already spoken out about it. I've already covered it in a previous video. On my video on Saturday on Emiru being attacked, I already covered that. You can take a look at there. But yeah, this is just a really bad response. He should have just had their PR team deal with it. Dokibird is an independent English-speaking VTuber who has made lots of waves, has grown a ton in everything that she does. And of course, recently she did have her Doki Day, her Doki birthday at Anime Expo 2025 in July. She is going to be releasing the full-on Director's Cut Birthday Concert 2025 for free. If you missed out on the Dokibird Day concert at Anime Expo, the polished Director's Cut is finally here for free. Make sure to stay at the very end for new encore performances. So this is where it's going to be. It's going to be on her Dokibird channel. This is going to be a short section here for this because the real big star is that she is even doing this at all. It's amazing that she is, a lot of people would put it behind a paywall, members only content or something like that. She decided to do this for all of her fans and fans of anyone else who was at the concert, like any guests and things like that. They can have a place where they can actually go and watch it. This is great to see because, like I said, a lot of organizations would probably put this behind a paywall. She probably was recommended to put it behind a paywall, to be honest with you, because that's what most people would do. But I'm glad that she did it for free. So congratulations to Doki for, again, having a very successful concert from what I remember it being when I covered it in July, and being amazing enough to actually put this out there. Matara is an independent English-speaking VTuber who used to be a part of vshojo, but she separated from them herself a bit ago. Right now, we're talking about her, why she's in the news today, because she went to TwitchCon, and she put, faceless, with a mask and everything like that, a picture that she took with the standees of Matara. Taking a second to say thank you so much for stopping by, everyone. Please forget how my booth looks today. Remember how it looks tomorrow. I can't believe how fast time is flying by today. And this is, I believe, on day 2 of TwitchCon. And there you can see the fuller picture of the standees with Matara there and the evil Momo in a jar. It's very cute to see the evil Momo. The evil Momo being in the jar is just something you don't ask why evil Momo was in a jar, just accept that it is in a jar. And the standees are absolutely amazing, as well as that made one that I believe is an art that was made for her. And here we have her again at day 3, where she's having some fun, meeting some new folks, doing an in-person meet and greet, kind of the 2.5D type of way. And whether a person does that, whether a VTuber does that or not, I do respect the hustle, not in like the bad hustle, but like the work ethic that these people have, Matara and others, to be able to go and still create content and do these things and just be the best for their community. Suisei is a female Japanese virtual YouTuber, or VTuber, associated with Hololive JP. She came in separately through Inanaka Music originally, and then she came in to Hololive afterwards. She is the only Hololive member that I know of that came in with her original indie VTuber persona. She was allowed to join as an indie VTuber with Inanaka Music, and then she transferred to Hololive. So Suisei you see here is a Suisei she created as an indie herself. Well, why am I talking about her today? She went on a Kenmochi Toya kind of like conversation piece, a moment where they were talking to each other, kind of a, not a podcast, but kind of like an interview style thing, where she talked about a little bit about stuff. I got to the part where she's talking about how she wanted to join Nijisanji. I think she pretty much went and tried to join everything, but Nijisanji was one of the ones, and she wasn't accepted, as we know now, and she was accepted to Hololive, as we know now. So let's listen to her in her own words. And of course, the subtitles will be on the bottom.
入るとかも多分思ってないですかね。
そうですね、全く思ってなかったし、私ニジサンジさんに入りたくて、
あ、そうなんですか。知らなかった。
ニジサンジさんのオーディション受けてたんですよ。
知らなかった。何を落としてんだ。もったいない。もったいな。そうなんですか。
あんまり言ってなかったかもだけど、なんか結構受けてて、なんか星町彗星として入れてくれませんかみたいな。
はい。
でもあんまりなんかいい結果にはならなかったというか。
はい。そうだったんだ。知らなかったですねそれ。
そうなんですよ実はね。
お互い自分の箱にどん。
So yeah. It is, that's the main reason why she was rejected from pretty much everybody. Even Hololive rejected her at first. And then later, the second time, because she was very persistent, second time she came in, she said, look, I will go anywhere you guys ask me to, do any part. Is there anywhere within your organization that I can fit as Hochimachi Suisei? I'm a V-singer, I'm a creator, I created this, I want to bring my community with me. they said, okay, we have a project with Azuki and updates, which is, the Keys and I company now, I believe. There, we have that. It's called Inonaka Music. You can join there as a secondary talent, and we'll have you start there. We can take you as Hochimachi Suisei. You transfer your IP rights to us. We will support you, etc., etc. She didn't get all the support she got in. She didn't get all the support she wanted there. She was about to quit. She moved to Hololive thanks to Achan, and now look where she is now. So yeah, she was going to be a part of Nijisanji if they would have taken her as Hochimachi Suisei. She didn't want to let go of her community and of all the hard work that she did, because I believe she even created her own model herself. She didn't have a mama or a papa. She did it herself. So her initial model was hers, and she wanted to keep it that way. So it is very, 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 nearly impossible nowadays to do that with agencies that don't already have an invaders for phase and things like that. So I'm glad that she was able to be a part of Hololive, because I'm not sure if Nijisanji would have pushed her the way that Hololive is right now. Welcome back, everybody, to the VTuber Showcase, the place where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. And the reason I do that is because I want to promote others instead of, promoting myself. So today we're talking about Nimu Kalmia, a werebat alchemist, chaotic alchemist, werebat, streamer, artist, ENJP. Let's take a look at what they have here, of course, which is their about section. Same thing, it says Nimu Kalmia at your service. They have their Twitter, their YouTube, their stream archives, and Blue Sky as well. We're going to take a look at something that they did recently here.
I don't know how to play Dark Knight, Rick. That is the only Rick and Morty joke you will ever hear me make, I think.
So there you go. A little bit of a Rick and Morty joke there. And of course, Nimu Kalmia has their primary YouTube channel here, where you're going to see a lot of their VODs, which is very important. Like I mentioned before, I've always mentioned this, that having a VOD repository is absolutely very, very important, because even if it's just doing co-streaming, or if it's actual just putting your VODs there, it's very important to have it somewhere outside of Twitch, because Twitch itself is not great at doing that. So of course, I thank you very much, Nimu Kalmia, for allowing me to showcase you on my channel. I do hope this helps you in some way. Thank you guys for watching as always, and of course take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.